This surveillance video obtained by DailyMail.com is exactly what investigators are looking for. CCTV capturing tech titan Bob Lee moments after he was stabbed early Tuesday in San Francisco.
In the early morning hours of April 4, 2023, one of Silicon Valley's most brilliant minds was bleeding out on the streets of San Francisco, desperately waving down cars for help. Bob Lee, the 43-year-old founder of Cash App, stumbled through the deserted downtown streets, his life slipping away with each agonizing step. What happened next would expose a dark underbelly of Silicon Valley's elite circles, a world of drugs, sex, family vendettas, and ultimately cold-blooded murder. The man accused of killing him wasn't a random attacker or a desperate criminal. He was a fellow tech executive who knew Bob Lee personally. The surveillance footage is absolutely heartbreaking. At 2:35 in the morning, Bob Lee appeared outside the Portside Apartments at 403 Main Street, his shirt soaked in blood, desperately trying to flag down a white Toyota Camry. He lifted his shirt to show the driver his wounds, pleading for help, but the car simply drove away, leaving him alone in his final moments. Lee staggered forward, leaving a trail of blood behind him, before collapsing on the sidewalk.
Lee, according to the San Francisco Standard, dialed 911 and screamed, "Help, someone stabbed me."
In his final act of desperation, Bob Lee called 911 more than 50 times, his voice growing weaker with each passing second. "Help, someone stabbed me!" He screamed into the phone, begging for someone, anyone, to save him. Police arrived within 6 minutes, but it was already too late. Lee was rushed to Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital, where surgeons fought for over 4 hours to repair the catastrophic damage, closing 2 wounds in his heart and 1 in his lung. But shortly before 7 a.m., Bob Lee was pronounced dead. Who was Bob Lee, and why would anyone want to kill him? Bob Lee wasn't just another tech executive, he was a legend in Silicon Valley. Born on December 20th, 1979, in St. Louis, Missouri, Lee was a self-taught programming prodigy who revolutionized the way we handle money. He joined Square in 2010 as Chief Technology Officer and spearheaded the launch of Cash App in 2013, a mobile payment platform that would grow to serve tens of millions of users and contribute to Block's multi-billion-dollar valuation. Before that, he spent 6 years at Google, where he contributed to the Android operating system and co-created the GEIS framework, which earned a prestigious Jolt Award in 2008. But Lee's brilliance extended far beyond coding. He was described by colleagues as having infinite stamina for work and socializing, often staying up until 4 a.m. He was a devoted father to 2 children, Scout, then 16, and Sirius, and had recently attended Scout's school play just days before his death. His daughter Scout later recalled him as her mini-me, helping with homework and always being there for his kids, despite going through a divorce from his wife Krista in 2019. By 2023, Lee had moved from San Francisco to Miami and was serving as Chief Product Officer at MobileCoin, a cryptocurrency firm. But he maintained strong ties to the Bay Area, often visiting for business and to see his children. It was during one of these visits that his life would be brutally cut short. Now, here's where the story takes its first dark turn. Initially, Bob Lee's murder sparked a massive political firestorm about crime in San Francisco.
The killing stunned the Bay Area high-tech community and made international headlines, stirring a debate about crime in San Francisco. Twitter CEO Elon Musk seized on the killing, blaming street crime and calling out District Attorney Brooke Jenkins.
People assumed this was just another random act of violence in a city plagued by homelessness and street crime. Elon Musk himself seized on the killing, blaming street crime and calling out San Francisco's District Attorney Brooke Jenkins. But 9 days later, everything changed.
San Francisco police arrested a tech entrepreneur in connection with the stabbing death of Cash App founder Bob Lee.
Turns out they knew each other. 38-year-old suspect was taken into custody this morning.
On April 13, 2023, police arrested Nima Momeni, a 38-year-old tech consultant and founder of Expand IT, at his home in Emeryville.
From day one have been on this case and almost continuously around the clock.
Police arrested 38-year-old Nima Momeni at his Emeryville home in the early morning hours Thursday. Momeni also worked in tech, founding Expand IT, and is a graduate of UC Berkeley.
And here's what made this case explode across every news outlet in America. Bob Lee and Nima Momeni knew each other. They weren't strangers. They weren't enemies in some corporate rivalry. Their connection was far more personal, far more complicated, and far more sinister than anyone could have imagined.
We asked Police Chief Bill Scott about a motive, but he wouldn't say.
Can you say anything about what precipitated this killing?
At this point, I can't say at this point. We do know from the evidence that they knew each other.
The connection between these two men ran through Nima's sister, Kazar Momeni, a socialite married to a plastic surgeon who lived in a luxury condo in San Francisco's Millennium Tower. Kazar had been friends with Bob Lee for nearly a decade, and both were deeply embedded in what prosecutors would later describe as San Francisco's underground lifestyle scene, characterized by high-end partying, drug use including cocaine, LSD and GHB, and casual relationships. To understand why Bob Lee was murdered, we need to go back 24 hours before his death, to the afternoon of April 3, 2023, when everything began to unravel at a drug-fueled gathering in San Francisco's Soma district. That afternoon, Bob Lee introduced his friend Jeremy Boivin to Kazar Momeni at her Millennium Tower residence. Boivin was a San Francisco resident with a background in tech who had met Lee in 2019 at a nightclub. They had become good friends, with Lee even describing him positively as a 100% solid dude. But Boivin had a darker side, a criminal history that included multiple drug-related charges, a 2020 case with dropped sexual assault allegations alongside guilty pleas for drug possession, 2021 charges for operating a drug house, and an August 2023 arrest for possessing heavy drugs. Later that day, the group reconvened at Boivin's Soma apartment for what devolved into a drug-fueled gathering. And when prosecutors later described what was available at this party, it painted a picture of shocking excess. Witnesses recalled an open bowl of drug powders, pills, and canisters, including the popular assault drug that can render someone unconscious and vulnerable. Kazar Momeni testified that she consumed most of the drugs available, including the assault drug marking her first experience with the latter substance. What happened next would become the catalyst for everything that followed. According to Kazar's testimony at trial, after passing out on Boivin's bed, she awoke to him touching her inappropriately while she was immobilized. She testified to crying uncontrollably and fearing for her safety, later alleging subsequent physical abuse, as well as death threats from Boivin. Distraught and terrified, Kazar contacted her brother Nima, who arrived to escort her home, and according to prosecutors, Nima was absolutely furious about what he believed had happened to his sister. But here's where the story gets even more complicated. Jeremy Boivin has categorically denied these allegations. In a February 2025 Dateline interview, his first public statement post-trial, Boivin stated unequivocally, "Bottom line is, I didn't do it. There was no sexual assault at any point." He admitted only to what he called a casual slap on her bum without non-consensual intent. Boivin portrayed their relationship as an enduring, consensual physical relationship spanning months after April 3rd, potentially persisting until shortly before the trial. Even more shocking, Boivin revealed that Kazar phoned him after her court testimony to apologize for the on-stand allegations, raising serious questions about potential perjury. And there were major inconsistencies in Kazar's account that prosecutors would later highlight. She sent a text message stating, "Bob never touched me, no one did," invited Boivin to her apartment mere hours after the alleged violation, and again invited him over even after Bob Lee's murder. No criminal charges were ever filed against Boivin for the alleged assault. But at the time, on that night of April 3rd, Nima Momeni believed his sister had been assaulted, and he was looking for someone to blame. That someone was Bob Lee, not because Lee had done anything to Kazar, but because he had introduced her to Jeremy Boivin. According to witness testimony, Nima confronted Bob Lee in a heated, interrogating phone call about the events at Boyven's apartment. The conversation was overheard by witnesses, with Nima grilling Lee about what had happened at the party. Lee apparently tried to assure Nima that nothing inappropriate had occurred, but it wasn't enough. Around 12:39 a.m. on April 4th, surveillance footage captured Bob Lee arriving at Khazar's luxury Millennium Tower condominium. He entered the lobby casually, seemingly unaware of what was about to unfold. Nima Momeni was already there. Approximately 1 hour and 20 minutes later, around 1:59 a.m., elevator footage captured Lee and Momeni together, descending to the garage where they entered Momeni's white BMW Z4 convertible. This departure appeared uneventful on camera. Two men leaving an apartment building in the early morning hours. But what happened next, in a secluded area beneath the Bay Bridge, would change everything. Prosecutors would later allege that Momeni drove Lee to this dimly lit spot near Main and Harrison Streets, ostensibly after Lee spilled a drink and appeared ill. But the real reason, according to the prosecution, was far more sinister. Momeni had taken a 7.75-inch Joseph paring knife from his sister's kitchen, and he was about to use it. Blurry but pivotal surveillance footage from a nearby camera, analyzed in court by video retrieval officer Milad Rashidian, depicts the confrontation. Two figures, one in white, which was Momeni, and one in black, which was Lee, stand still before Momeni makes a sudden advance. No prior aggressive motions were noted in the footage. The figures separate abruptly, and then something chilling happens. Momeni speeds away in his BMW, running a red light en route back to Emeryville. Rashidian described Momeni leaning toward a fence post-separation, an action prosecutors interpreted as discarding the murder weapon. The autopsy conducted by the San Francisco medical examiner confirmed the devastating reality. Bob Lee had been stabbed 3 times, 2 penetrating wounds to the chest that pierced his heart and left lung, and 1 to the hip. The heart wound caused massive internal bleeding, while the lung wound compounded respiratory failure. These weren't defensive wounds or accidents, they were precise, deadly strikes. Forensic analysis solidified the case against Nima Momeni. DNA testing yielded a 99% match for Momeni on the knife handle and a 98% match for Lee on the blade. The knife was recovered near the scene, following a blood trail. Toxicology revealed low levels of cocaine used near-death ketamine that was possibly at anesthetic equivalent levels, and alcohol equivalent to 1 beer, but none of these substances were deemed contributory to Lee's death. But what did Nima Momeni do immediately after stabbing Bob Lee? He fled the scene without rendering any aid, without calling authorities, without even checking if Lee was alive. Instead, he immediately began consulting with lawyers, exchanging texts with his sister, and according to prosecutors, his family members began researching how to erase phone data. The trial of Nima Momeni began on October 14, 2024, in San Francisco Superior Court, and it would become one of the most sensational legal proceedings in Silicon Valley history. Lasting 6 weeks with over 50 witnesses, the case featured dramatic testimonies, forensic debates, and controversial video evidence that would captivate media attention across the nation.
My defense is it's a combination of an accident and self-defense. Absolutely.
Nima Momeni's defense centered entirely on self-defense. He claimed that Bob Lee, allegedly high on cocaine and ketamine, became aggressive after Momeni made what he called a bad joke about Lee prioritizing strip clubs over family time during his San Francisco visit. According to Momeni's testimony, Lee lunged at him with the knife, forcing Momeni to redirect it in a struggle, accidentally causing the 3 stab wounds. Momeni testified that he left the scene believing Lee was unharmed, saying Lee walked away just fine. But prosecutors systematically destroyed this narrative. They highlighted that forensic experts noted the clean, deep punctures were inconsistent with a chaotic fight, and no evidence showed Lee ever holding the knife. Bob Lee's brother, Timothy Oliver Lee, dismissed Momeni's claim as absolutely insane, noting it completely mismatched Lee's non-violent personality. When Momeni took the stand beginning November 13, 2024, his testimony started calmly but quickly devolved into combative exchanges. Cross-examination by prosecutor Omid Talai turned particularly tense, with Momeni evading questions and trading barbs. At one point, when pressed about his awareness of Lee's injuries, Talai asked sarcastically, "You thought maybe an unhoused person stabbed Bob on Main Street?" To which Momeni replied, "There were homeless people on the street." One of the most controversial pieces of evidence was a video recorded on April 10, 2023, by San Francisco Police Department outside Momeni's former attorney's office in Burlingame. The footage depicted Momeni making 3 stabbing gestures and a throwing motion toward a private investigator. Prosecutors claimed it was him reenacting the murder, demonstrating intimate knowledge that he had stabbed Lee exactly 3 times. The defense argued it was inconclusive, filmed from 30 feet away without audio and partially obstructed. After 7 days of intense deliberation, on December 17, 2024, the jury reached its verdict.
We're happy with the result today. We're happy that Momeni will not be on the streets. He no longer has the opportunity to harm anybody else in this world.
Nima Momeni was convicted of second-degree murder. The jury rejected the first-degree premeditated murder charges but affirmed malice aforethought without premeditation. He faces 15 to 16 years to life in prison, plus enhancements for weapon use.
What matters today is that we had a guilty verdict and that Momeni is going away for a very long time.
We are satisfied with that verdict. Of course, we presented evidence that we thought substantiated a first-degree murder conviction.
For Bob Lee's family, the verdict brought mixed emotions. His daughter Scout described the 911 audio as ringing in my head and felt the second-degree conviction fell short of justice for what she believed was premeditation.
It's been a very, very crazy ordeal. It's been so hard to be able to live through all of this. I know for a fact I'm never going to have my brother back, but this is the best of all first outcomes.
Bob Lee's brother Oliver expressed relief that Momeni won't harm anyone else, while Scout and her brother Sirius struggled with the graphic videos and audio from the trial. The legal saga continues. In March 2025, Lee's estate, his children, and his ex-wife Krista filed a comprehensive civil lawsuit against Nima Momeni, his sister Kazar, her husband Dino Eliasnia, their mother Manaz Tayarani, and Portside condominium entities. The suit alleges wrongful death, conspiracy for hiding the BMW and deleting evidence, and invasion of privacy against Portside for releasing the graphic surveillance footage that devastated Lee's minor children. Momeni's sentencing has been repeatedly delayed. Initially scheduled for May 16, 2025, it was postponed after Momeni hired new attorneys Daniel Shriro and Boris Beinman in June, who cited problems with the trial fairness as grounds for appeal. A status hearing occurred on August 22, 2025, but as of October 20, 2025, no confirmed sentencing outcome has been reported, with Momeni remaining in custody awaiting his fate. But perhaps the most haunting aspect of this entire tragedy is what it revealed about Silicon Valley's hidden world. This case exposed the underbelly of elite tech circles, a world of drug-fueled parties, underground lifestyle scenes, and personal relationships that blurred professional boundaries. Friends emphasized that this party scene didn't define Bob Lee, describing him instead as a devoted father, a brilliant innovator, and someone who inspired thousands of people to pursue ambitious goals. Tributes poured in from figures like Elon Musk and MobileCoin CEO Josh Goldbard, highlighting Lee's legacy as not just technological innovations but the positive impact he had on people's lives. Lee's vast network of over 20,000 friends remembered him as a generous figure with infinite stamina, a nerd with charisma, and someone whose infectious grin and enthusiasm could light up any room. And yet, in the end, Bob Lee's life was cut short not by some grand corporate conspiracy or professional rivalry, but by something far more primal and tragic. A protective brother's misplaced rage over an alleged assault that may never have happened, directed at a man who had simply introduced 2 people at a party. The fact that Kazar Momeni allegedly apologized to Jeremy Boyven after testifying about the assault raises profound questions about the entire foundation of this tragedy. If the alleged assault never occurred, or if it wasn't the violent attack that Khazar initially described, then Bob Lee died for absolutely nothing. As Nima Momeni sits in custody awaiting his final sentencing, facing 15 to 16 years to life in prison, we're left with haunting questions about what really happened under that bridge. Did Nima Momeni plan to kill Bob Lee when they got in that BMW? Or did something snap in those final moments? A word, a gesture, a perceived slight that triggered an explosive act of violence? The jury's decision to convict him of second-degree rather than first-degree murder suggests they believed there was malice, but not premeditation. But does that distinction really matter to Scout and Sirius Lee, who lost their father forever? Does it matter to the thousands of people whose lives Bob Lee touched through his innovations, his mentorship, his generosity? Let me know what you think in the comments section. The surveillance footage tells us what happened in those final moments, but it can't tell us why. It can't explain how a tech entrepreneur who built his own company, who had everything to lose, could make the decision to stab another human being 3 times and then drive away as if nothing had happened. It can't explain how someone could leave another person bleeding to death on a deserted street and then go home to sleep. Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this.